All right, welcome to the playground. Today, we are going to make a lovely coil built jar box with a lid. All right, so what we're gonna need today, something for cutting. So whether you have a store-bought knife or a kitchen knife, fabulous. Then I also like a toothbrush so I can join. And then for joining, either a lovely eraser pencil or a store-bought wooden knife. You also need a rolling pin. Big help. I'll show you what you can do if you don't have one. All right, so let's get started. All right, first up, we need to get a small amount of clay for our bottom. I like to do the bottom first, using a little pressure. You don't want it too thin. I'm gonna go for a round one. And I'm using a lid. So you can see it's not too thin, you know, you don't want it so thin that, you know, it doesn't support. You also want it kind of big because you're building your coils on top of, and what you don't want to do is make it really tiny and then make it really, really tiny. Okay, so once you get your bottom, now I'm going to, let's just say you don't have a rolling pin, but you still want to make a little slab. Now you notice I'm picking it up and turning it over, and it is moving out. If you just leave it in one space and don't pick it up and flip it over, you will end up getting stuck to the table or to your paper, and then when you pull it up, it might tear. So it's bigger than this, which is fine because we're going to use this one later on to make our lid. So once we made our bottom, you can make it any shape you want because we're working with coils. So this one, as you can see, is squarish. So we have our clay, and you don't want to take too much. I like to squeeze it a little before I start. That way it's pretty much in cylinder shape. When we are rolling, first just gently. No, this is no pressure. This is me just getting used to rolling. I tend to roll with my fingers facing up. So think of it exaggerated this way. Because if I push down and then start rolling, what ends up happening is I squish it and then it's flop, 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 flop. So just at first, just roll it back and forth. I'm putting no pressure whatsoever. You know, you don't need a huge piece because this is multiple layers and multiple coils. Your coils, don't get so excited about how wonderful they're rolling out that you don't notice how thin they're becoming. Because if they're too thin, it does make it hard to join. Maybe a little smaller than my pinky. Assembling. All right, so I actually have this lovely little Lazy Susan. I put my bottom on a piece of paper, so that way if you don't have a Lazy Susan, a piece of paper, you can move it around to help things going. And this will also help it to keep it from sticking to whatever surface we're working on. So, sponge, a little water, toothbrush. First up is to get some slippy good connection going. A little water, not too much water. Too much water will make it very soft. And if it's too soft, it'll be kind of weak. So, I want to make sure that my coil is on top of, not on the side of, and I like to anchor beginning, and then make sure that it is on top of. Overlap. Of course, I put a little more slippy goodness. Now, this is where either you can use an eraser pencil or a piece of wood that's rounded. Action support. I'm going to keep my hand on the opposite side on the outside so that as I am smushing it down, that the coil doesn't end up getting pushed off. That is really important. So this finger is keeping it there, and I'm kind of pushing down and then squishing, pushing down and moving out. All right. I'm going to start where I left off. Smush that on. Get that all nice. And then once again, roll it all around. Where it overlaps, add some more. I'm going to once again come in here and I'm going to take, I'm smushing the top layers, keeping my hand on the other side so it doesn't go crazy. It doesn't get out of shape. This is called action, the smushing down and making those coils one. Support is my hand on the outside, making sure that it stays all nice. And I want to make sure that I'm grabbing. I can actually go up to as well as go down. I'm grabbing a bit of one coil to add to the next coil, and then I'm going to sit here and smooth them out. And as you can see, because I am taking a bit of one coil down to the next coil, this is where if things are too thin, it'll end up being very hard to work with. All right, I'm running out of coil, but you don't want to get so crazy. Okay. This off and put, once again, this, I like a thick lid. If it's too thin, it can fall in. And maybe I want this to be just a little bit bigger, because that'll make it nice. So I can come here and, all right. One thing I want to do, to smooth over the edges. Okay, so that's where the top is going to go. I need a little coil. So I'm going to set that down. I'm going to take my coil that I just made and I'm rolling it and just on the inside. Just trying to create areas in ever so gently, ever so slight. Kind of impression. Push it down a little. And then I'm going to take it. I'm holding the inside so it doesn't move. But I want to press the outside down, and this is where having the piece of paper underneath so that you're not smushing this into something that'll stick to. Once I'm all the way around, I am kind of going for just a little bit of water to just smooth this over. What's nice about spinning this around. I need a handle. See that one? See that one? Okay. I'm just smoothing out the edges where I cut so that it looks nicer. I want it to be opened a little bit. And once again. Okay. The only thing is I'm not just gonna put this on top because I want to put my finger underneath it. I'm gonna unroll it a little. And now, so I have my finger underneath, and a finger on top. And that's where I'm going to smush that in, so that's where it's connected. And then I'm going to roll this back up on top. And make sure that the curl is where I want it to be. Voila!